Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the horror-thon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks.
Hey, folks!
It's almost
Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man! At your Halloweenish service. How are you all? Yes, that infernal jingle again. It's everywhere! Turn it off! Turn it off! It's on the third channel! Turn it off! Yes. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the Festival of Samhain, and the hills ran red with the blood of animals and children. Folks, I told you I would get more masks from that movie. So far, I have the skull and now the pumpkin. The skull, as I said before, let's turn that goddamn jingle off. Jesus Christ. There we go. John Carpenter's awesome score for Halloween 3. The film he did not direct. The film that also does not have Michael Myers, The Shape. Although he does make a cameo appearance on a TV screen in a bar because they're playing the original Halloween there, where Dr. Dan, our hero, Dr. Dan Chalice, the awesome, iconic Tom Atkins, is having a little drinky poo in between womanizing, as only Tom Atkins can do. Speaking of which, here's to you, Tom. Now, as you folks know, I quite liberally discussed the movie in my discussion and review on that mask, the skull, from Trick or Treat Studios, the skull mask, which is my favourite out of the three. As you will recall, there were 3 masks used in this movie. Well, there was other ones as well, but the 3 main ones, the ones that are used to trap and ensnare all the children around the world, to sit in front of the goggle box when that infernal commercial comes on, with a little microchip on the back, which is there, in there, which will be ignited by the satanic occult powers from little chips made from Stonehenge itself. We had a time getting it here. You wouldn't believe how we did it. The awesome Colonel Cochrane, played by Dan O'Herlihy, one of my favourite villains of all time. This ancient warlock who wants to play the greatest trick ever on the children, and turn them all into writhing seedbeds of maggots, spiders, snakes, and all sorts of head-crumbling brain jam. Awesomeness. Don Post was the guy that was brought in. Don Post, who was renowned as a mask creator. His studios have been working for decades already. They already had the skull already, so the skull was pretty much taken, straight away. We're gonna have that one. They had another one which was the witch, the hag, the old hag. I've still yet to get hold of that mask, so wait for that one, folks. And that already existed too. The only masks, they wanted three sort of hero masks, and the idea was, these were the ones that the Silver Shamrock Company, novelties based in Santa Mira, California, were going to sell these to all the kids. So they'd all be sitting there for the big giveaway on Halloween night when this TV commercial was going to come on, and then all their heads would erupt, causing absolute carnage and chaos. And all of the USA will run red with the blood of children's brains. And but the third one, obviously, so they got another guy from Don Post Studios to design and create a pumpkin, a jack-o'-lantern, and here be it. This is the one. Now, as I said before, there is a definite sort of charm and innocence to these masks. They are not profoundly scary in a way, because the point of the movie is that kids are going to want these, and the idea is it's innocence being corrupted and destroyed. So the kids are going to wear these sort of nicey ones. So you'd see them down the picket fences of Middle America, with their mums, traipsing around on their little quaint little costumes, getting candy, because the Festival of Samhain wasn't about getting candy, was it? So they had to be kind of like charming, nice, not so threatening. And the skull, I think, is fantastic. The witch is actually quite frightening in its own right, but it's still in a childish sort of way. This one I find not frightening in the least. This is, for my own personal tastes, although I do dearly love this mask, and I do dearly love, well, you know how much I love the movie, but I think they could have gone a little bit more sinister with this. It's rather too nice, you know. So, anyway, enough of that. This, sculpted by Justin Mabry from Trick or Treat Studios, is a very, very faithful and beautiful reproduction of what Don Post brought to the movie with their totally made for the film Jack-o'-lantern pumpkin mask. This is the mask that Colonel Cochrane gives to Little Buddy, the son of Big Buddy, who are mask and novelty shop entrepreneurs who have come to his factory in Santa Mira to get a big bulk order because they've won a special prize or something like that. I can't remember now. And but they're going to be put into test room A, and the commercial will be run. But they're sitting there thinking, hey, what? This is the same old commercial. But Little Buddy's in front of it, and he's got one of these on with the activated microchip in there, and his head will crunch in and spew out bugs, snakes, spiders, all sorts of horrible insect and arachnoid, terrors to destroy the entire family. Now, in a film which is, in the UK, it was cut down initially. It was cut down for the robot assassin who does a bit of eye gouging. That was trimmed. More robot assassins, one of whom, in fact the main one, is played by the great Dick Warlock, who played the Shape in Halloween 2. And he's absolutely an actor, stuntman, and I love him to bits. Did a video on him. Please go back, find it, check it out. I love the guy. He rips a guy's head off because he's a robot android servant to Colonel Cochrane. It tears a town drunk's head off, big squelchy effect. That was entirely removed from the UK. Marge Gutman, who's another, she's travelled there because she's got a complaint about some of the masks. And while she's in their motel room, she finds the chip on the floor and she begins to pry around with it, and it bazzazzes her gob, and her face is torn open, literally blasted open, and spiders come out of her mouth. Oh God, that was removed as well from the UK print. Of course, the film's fully uncut now, but the point I'm getting to is that the sequence which everyone thinks is so damn shocking is the destruction of Little Buddy and the death and murder of his family. But in actual fact, that scene is very, very tame. There was no censor cut to that sequence, and it's very, very tame considering what is actually happening. You don't even see the mother get killed, and Big Buddy just gets a bite from a snake. Where's my snake gone? Oh, it is. Don't make up your own jokes about where my snake has gone. It's gone everywhere. Gets a little bite from one of these things, but even that's not graphic. It sort of grabs hold of his trouser leg, and that's it. And he goes, "Ah!" But you do see Buddy's face collapse inside the mask, and all this, a bit of giblets from it looks like the pulp of the inside of a pumpkin. It's meant to be his brain, obviously, oozing out. And in a shot on the floor, when he's lying there, you do see the pumpkin all squished in like that, the mask, I mean. And inside that, you can see his eye, and you can see his face has been literally compounded and compressed. And that is quite sinister. But it's a very brief shot. So that sequence is incredibly tame compared to cuts that are made to the violence in the rest of it. The most shocking scene, the most notorious scene that everyone remembers, is actually the tamest anyway. So, then again, maybe they did it on purpose because they were afraid of, we're killing a kid here, so we've got to watch ourselves. Although, even though John Carpenter didn't direct it, it is a John Carpenter movie through and through. And, he did waste a little girl, Kim Richards, in Assault on Precinct 13. Mouths are shot. It's just regular vanilla. She gets shot outside the ice cream van. But back to the mask. So this one was devised for the movie. This has now been remodeled by Justin Mabry. The tag is there, official Trick or Treats. There you go, Justin. And it's fantastic. It's a very great depiction of the mask. Now, don't expect great, tremendous detail because it didn't have it. They were very simplistic masks. Look at the stalk there. Not a great deal of detail on that, but I do like this, the lid that's been carved. I do like the segments of the pumpkin, the way they glisten and gleam. I like the way that if you look inside the mouth, and the eye, you still pretty much have, where the indentations of this thing would be. So it does run, in a kind of very symmetrical fashion. And that's the thing about it, it is very symmetrical. Most pumpkins that I know and carve are not symmetrical. They have the teeth that are more on one side, one big one over there, or fangs. One eye's a different shape, the nose is all off kilter. I try to make them a big, mad, jagged, shark-like grin all the way up here. But that is very, very simple, very tried and trusted. It's just like that, like all the little paraphernalia and tat you get come Halloween, where they're just very simple designs. And that probably is part of the great mystique about it, is because it's very simple, but what it does, courtesy of, where is it, that. And I love the fact that Trick or Treat have done this and put these on. As I say, Don Post did sell replica masks after the film came out of their designs, and they did put that on, but it was card, it was just a bit of card. This is proper, like hard plastic, and shiny and embossed. Looks great. You shine a light on that and it will flash, a bit like it does on the back of Buddy's head when it's about to ignite and go completely infestoid. So you've got quite gaping big eye holes there. You've got I didn't expect that actually, a great big hole for the mouth as well. I mean, I'd never even noticed there was one in the film. There is, but I hadn't noticed. Colonel Cochrane actually selects this mask for little Buddy when they're taking on a little tour around the factory. He just plucks it up and says, "Oh, this one will suit you." Oh yes, yeah. Ooh, have I got a trick in store for you? What I will say is the mask is shinier than how it looks in the movie, which has a bit more of a sort of matte sort of veneer. This look glistens a wee bit more, I will say. Also, the mask in the film, although it's a stunt mask as well, because it's used for death and destruction, it's very spongy, it's very easy to cave in, and it looks spongy more than rubbery, whereas this is very profoundly latexy. Not an issue. I don't intend to explode my head, with this thing. Although who knows? Come October 31st. So, Tom Behrman, the great makeup effects guy Tom Behrman, did the gore effects for Halloween 3. And, I think that this sequence is quite tame, but it's very intriguing as to how that face looks crushed and with that little blue eye peeping through. Oh, life has left this little kid forever. But yeah, there's also a little silver shamrock emblem here. Now, I noticed the skull does not have that. And the witch, I don't know if it doesn't. The witch has a cowl and a hood, so I don't know if that's sort of underneath there. I don't know. But I do like that. I do like that it's there. Another little stamp. Maybe that's because this one was a definite film original. I don't know. It'd be nice if you could do a variation on this one. Because Trick or Treat, if you guys are ever going to watch any of my mask reviews, because most of them are about your stuff anyway, you are not shy at milking your customers. You're not, let's be honest. Look at your Halloween franchise masks. You have every fucking Michael Myers mask you can possibly imagine. If Michael Myers ever got a fucking spot on the end of his bloody William Shatner latex nose, you'd do a mask about that. You've done everything, even ones that weren't fucking used. You're doing a mask of that one there. Now that mask, that poster there is just, it's standalone, Halloween Michael Myers image. But the image, that picture there, is the mask from Halloween 2. Or the mask from Halloween 1 as worn by Dick Warlock as it changed over the years and got battered and dishevelled. And Dick Warlock's different shaped face from Nick Castle in the original movie. But it's the same mask, but it looks different. It looks kind of fatter. That is the mask from Halloween 2. You already sell that mask. And now you're selling a mask called the Halloween poster mask. And it's that image. You already sell a fucking mask. Jesus Christ. The blood tears, I'll get that. But you've got the Elrod mask, because you didn't have a license for the first Halloween 1978 mask. Now you've done that. But you've done another version of that as well. How many fucking versions are you going to do? You literally are creaming the cash from your customers. You are. But that said, if you're going to do it, how about doing a mask variation of this, where it has got the crushed effect, where you have got a snake oozing out, a couple of bugs coming out there, maybe a wrecked blue eyeball inside. Why not do that? Why not just do that? You can sculpt it. You've got the rights to it. Do that. People would buy it. They definitely would buy it. I mean, you've done the other two masks, and they are superlative, and this is a tremendous mask. It is. I do like it a lot. And as I said last time on the skull mask, in this particular instance, I don't mind that there's a great big sort of brand label, sculpted in there, because these are masks that are based on masks in a film that were produced by a company to be sold to customers around the world. So they would have a label on them, they would have some kind of advertising and licensee holders brand name on it. So I don't mind that. What I hate is that when you get masks from movies where they've got something similar fucking stamped all over it. Well, it's a mask of a monster's face. He didn't have a fucking brand name on him, did he? You know what I mean? So, but in this case, I don't mind that. Jesus Christ, it's back again. It's time. Let's go a bit different. Let's have a cockroachy, bug, lobster, scorpion type thing. Oh.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking.
And that is the voice of Tommy Lee Wallace, who directed Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, silver shamrock. Happy Halloween, Halloween.
Turn it off! Turn it off! Make that fucking commercial stop! The fucking tune! It's doing my pumpkin head in! Oh. So yeah, folks, there you go. Trick or Treats, Justin Maybury sculpted this. Great paint job. Not accurate in the look, I don't think. I think it's more of a matte finish. That could just be me, but that is a good mask. Now, should you go out on Halloween night, it'd be great to troop around if there's three of you. So get some mates as the three of these. We do see these three masks make a cameo appearance in Halloween 2018. You do see some kids going past wearing the jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, the skull, and the witch, which is a lovely little payoff, a lovely little reminder. It's great that they just don't. You've completely ignored Halloween 2, yeah. Apart from that throwaway bit. I heard he was her brother or something like that. No, that's just when they made up for the press. Yeah. Fuck off, But it's good that these masks are in there. It keeps them alive, But as I said, I wasn't joking about the Trick or Treats doing maybe one that's got a few sort of deformities and mutations and a few insectoid things creeping out there. You could do it. You could easily do it, So, I mean, I could imagine even getting another one of these myself and rigging it up, modifying it, ripping it, crushing it, and putting a whole slew of bugs and blood, and pumpkin gibberty brain nuggets hanging out of it as well. So, you could definitely do a variation. Those guys have got the expertise and the know-how and the business savvy, so I'm surprised there isn't one already, But there you go. On the same topic, I wouldn't mind a mask of Colonel Cochrane once heroic Dr. Dan, has poured all the chips over the gantry and ignited everything in the light of Stonehenge itself, the big monolith that they've managed to mysteriously remove from Blighty to California with no one knowing, and all the androids get killed, and Colonel Cochrane gets zapped by the power, and it forms like a sort of laser beam ring of light, a Stonehenge ring of light, and he is ignited through it all, and he becomes like this sort of satanic pillar of, silicon, and he just glows bright silver and burns and becomes all crusty. You could do one of that. I'm just giving you some business options there, folks. Some business ideas. But yeah, I know there's folks who like to know what's on the inside of these. Well, my sweat, obviously. In case there's any numbers on them or signatures. Well, all that's on this is it's very faded. You probably can't see it. I don't know if you can. There you go. A little pumpkin emblem. So yeah, it's a very simple mask, but it's very striking. It's obvious what it is, and the real bonus in these masks for me is the addition of that. That is so damn cool to put them on there. It's brilliant. You don't want to lose one of those like Marge Gutman and start getting a screwdriver in and probing around. Don't fuck around with these things. And I like that. I like the little badge there. Very cool. So yeah, texture-wise, yeah, it's all there. It does, having carved, I lose count of the pumpkins that I've toyed around with. That does have a very pumpkin-like texture to it, which is great. You can't, undersell the style that these things are done with and the authenticity. And I do love the carvings around this lid. It'd be nice if you could actually lift it. I don't know how you rig that up, but But there you go, folks. This awesomely moody, ominous score from John Carpenter and Alan Howarth, his long-time collaborator during this period. Awesome. I love the movie. I've still yet to do a full review of the film itself, although really speaking, do I actually need to? I've now done 2 videos on The Mask and talked at length about the film as well, and of course there'll be the 3rd Mask to come, so anyway, folks, the biggest trick of all on the children. Like in a lot of videos when I discuss masks, I start seeing it on the screen that I'm looking at, and I start going, it looks way better than I'm giving it credit for. And it is a really good mask. My slight misgivings, qualms about it being not that scary, but that's just me. That's just me being Churlish, Dr. Dan Churlish. He was the guy that complained about everything. No, that is just me being a bit picky, but that's about the film as well, because the masks don't look very scary, I don't think, but that is the point. So me saying that that's a bad point is a bit stupid, really. But hey, when you hold it in your hand, you go like, oh, that's not very terrifying, is it? But when you put the 3 of them together, it just becomes an iconic shrine to a film which was battered upon release by fans and critics alike. Not by me. I loved it from day one. Absolutely adored the movie. I got that it was different. I got that. I understood this wasn't a Myers movie, and I wasn't in the least bit arsed. I had read in Starburst and Starlog about John Carpenter and the plans, Deborah Hill, Irving Yablans and all that. That Halloween was going to become an anthology thing where every single year, or every year they could release one. It'd be a different story just set around the theme of Halloween. Myers was just, I didn't want to do a sequel in the first place, but you made me do it, so I had to do a Halloween 2. But Halloween 1 is a standalone, and of course now we've got, in a way, you can blame fans who rallied against this movie when it first came out. You guys are the reason why we got so many Michael Myers sequels, which was shit, because you clamoured and you hated this, you hated the direction the franchise could have gone in, and this is what you created. This fucking juggernaut of Michael Myers. And I'm saying that as a huge Michael Myers fan, but there you go. Then again, it was a big mistake to call the film Halloween 3. You know, so you got to take a bit of the blame yourselves on that. And the marketing was piss poor. It didn't tell audiences what they were going to what to expect. That it was going to be some kind of high-tech sorcery movie and not a stalk and slash. But the film has now found its audience, and it is a cult movie, and people do adore it. It's shown every year, and it plays out really, really well. And it's still, you know, even with some archaic, you know, TV screens and the idea of microchips and technology and that is a bit sort of outdated now. But, you know, it still works in a sort of modern day witchcraft milieu. So, folks, grab your jack-o'-lanterns and let's go pumpkining. So there you go. Trick or Treats, Pumpkin from Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. A very good mask, I'm sure you'll agree. It looks really good, doesn't it? The colour, that's a vibe, that's a lush pumpkin, that one. You know, as you're carving, you're going to get one shit ton of seeds out of this motherfucker, you know? And maybe the odd one of these as well. Folks, in the meantime and in between time, keep it kilted, keep it Celtic, and I'm going to see y'all. Get off. The Festival of Samhain. The last great one took place 3,000 years ago, and the hills ran red with the blood of animals and children. And the whiskey was good too, y'all.